What's good, you? Man, as y'all can tell, we got another reaction video for y'all boys. And as y'all can see from the title, the truth about Bronny James playing in the NBA. Now, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I can tell the future because I've been telling y'all boys that boy was going to the NBA. You feel what I'm saying? It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. And apparently that boy, well, it's not even apparently, he know the greatest motherfucker that ever touched the basketball. You see what I'm saying? So if you thought he wasn't going to the league, then nobody's going to the league. You see what I'm saying? Come on now. A lot of people saying it's nepotism. Okay, and if it is, the Thanasis Antetokounmpo, why is he in the league? Me and him play the same, and I'm sitting here talking to y'all through a camera. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to hear none of it. Do I think that boy gonna get some playing time? Probably not. You feel what I'm saying? He probably gonna go to the G League, get some practice. But y'all are crazy if y'all think Bronny not gonna play at least one game opening night. He might get some playing time. Why? Because it's historic. He might throw a lob to his dad just to say he did it. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I think Bronny he's a good pickup. I don't think he's that bad. He came back from a heart failure, a heart problem. He came back from that, and he was still able to put up what he did. It wasn't the best numbers, but he did his best. And that's what players like to see. That's what people like to see. That's what scouts apparently like to see. But with that being said, we're going to get straight into the video. But before that, I want y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notification, and let's get straight into the video, my boy. But yeah, good pickup.
With the 2024 NBA draft in the books, there is one major discussion that has dominated the NBA space over the last week. It isn't about the #1 overall pick. It isn't about the outlook of these teams going into next season. It's about a late second-round pick. And for good reason, because his name is LeBron James. And he's going to play in the NBA with LeBron James. It's a weird and unprecedented circumstance that the NBA has never encountered before. A player who many fans consider to be the greatest of all time playing in the NBA with his own son. A story so strange, you'd think the NBA scriptwriters outsourced their work to ChatGPT, picked the most batshit result, and called it a day. But after 2 years of speculation, we now know with certainty that Bronny James will be an NBA player. And right on cue, the criticism of his merits and value as a future player in the NBA have already came pouring in. Scouts and GMs claiming Bronny as a prospect isn't even worth using a late second-round pick on, and that the real value lies in his last name and the leverage it comes with. But how valuable is a second-round pick, really? And is Bronny a legitimate NBA player, or is he only in conversation solely because of who his dad is?
Who do you want to play with?
Bronny is #1 on my list.
Let me hear something.
I gotta be on the floor with Bronny.
This is Ken Griffey, former major leaguer and 3-time All-Star. This is Ken Griffey Jr., son of Ken Griffey. And in 1990, these two did one of the coolest things a father and son can possibly do. They played in the MLB together. And when I say together, I don't just mean they played in the MLB at the same time. They were on the same team. In fact, they weren't just on the same team, they shared the same outfield with each other. It's probably the rarest and most badass thing you'll ever see in sports. Making it to the big leagues is one thing, but playing in the big leagues next to your kid is a club exclusive to only these two. And if that wasn't...
Side note, I did see Ken Griffey Jr. say he gonna go to one of the Lakers game. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. It's too inspirational for that boy not to get no playing time. He might start. I won't say he's going to start. He's going to play at least one game. You see what I'm saying? There's too much going on the line. Now, that's a part of the storyline. Him playing in the actual game with his pops is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, he probably going to go
incredible enough. To the G League. On September 14th, 1990, the Griffeys pulled off something that you will never see again in your lifetime.
Put an inch back up there now. Well hit the center field. Devon White going back. Gone! A 2-run.
Get hit, boy. Don't tell me he finna hit one out.
And he hits one well to left center field. Dante Bichette. Back-to-back home run.
Good jump, boy. Father-son duo out there looking good.
The Griffeys were great. And they were the first and only father-son duo in the history of Major League Baseball. But they weren't the first father-son duo in professional sports.
I didn't know that.
This is Gordie Howe, one of the greatest players to ever touch the ice. He won 4 Stanley Cups, 6 MVPs, held the NHL record
no
for
helmets,
total
them
career
boys is
points at the time of
dangerous.
his retirement, and is a member of the NHL's 100th anniversary team. Gordie had an incredible pro career as a hockey player, and yet out of all of his accomplishments, the coolest thing he ever did was this. This is Mark and Marty Howe, Gordie's sons, and he played professional hockey with them in both the WHA and the NHL for 5 seasons. Now, if you're thinking, that guy looks a little old to be playing professional sports, you're right. Gordie began his career in the NHL in 1946 when he was just 18 years old. By the time he retired for good, he was 51. A career that stretched from the 1940s to the 1980s. And only with a career like this can a player even have a shot at playing in the league together with their son.
Hold on, bro. I gotta do the math on that. Ain't no way you just finna. He said 1942 to 19. Hold on, bro. Let me do the math, bro. You not just finna skip past that. Like you ain't just say, well, he almost played almost like 38 years. Hold on. Where my calculator at, my boy? 38 years? Huh? Who was he? What was he doing? He ain't had no job. He was out there just skating around for real. He was out there figure skating. Ain't no way, boy. You played a professional sport for 28 years. And y'all ain't have on no helmets. Boy, he might be dangerous. I need to shake this man's hand right now. He might be one of them.
Why exactly am I talking
boy,
about
that's
home runs
crazy.
and Gordie Howe? Well, because they're awesome. But also
Look
because
at him.
of
He
these
got on
two
a figure-
and what they're about to accomplish in their own sport. LeBron and Bronny James, who
Crazy,
are on
bro.
track to being the first father and son duo to play together in the NBA. An idea that seemed far-fetched when LeBron first mentioned it years ago, but has now become a reality.
Let's see
But
somebody.
how legitimate is Bronny's spot in the league? And is the backlash towards the Lakers selecting him with a second-round pick in the draft warranted? Well, to answer this question, we first need to know just how good Bronny is as a prospect and as an incoming NBA player. Right now, NBADraft.net has Bronny rated at an 88 overall across
88. I gotta see the attributes. You see what I'm saying? Athleticism, 8. Size, a 7. That boy is 6'1". You feel what I'm saying? That's not defense, a 7. Okay. Strength, a 8. Quickness, 8. Leadership, 8. You feel what I'm saying? Jump shot, 7. Now, I feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. NBA ready, that's kind of disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? So you saying he has a better jump shot than he is NBA ready, and he grew up in a house with a Hall of Famer? The greatest Hall of Famer? Knock it off, my boy. You crazy. Ball handling, 7. Potential, 8. Passing, 7. Intangible, 7. Okay. I'm not going to lie. 88 is not bad. 88 is not bad. You feel what I'm saying? Knock it off. Stop putting some respect on his name.
Metrics. This overall rating puts Bronny on the lower end of all second-round picks and future prospects over the last 3 years, but well within range of your typical mid to late first-rounder. Now, here are Bronny's numbers during his 1 season of college basketball. 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists a game on 47, 30, 69% shooting splits. Now, these numbers, especially from a relatively undersized guard, do not scream NBA potential. But for perspective, here are the average collegiate stats from every late second-round pick that played college basketball over the last 5 years. And even when compared to late second-round picks, Bronny's numbers aren't nearly as impressive. In fact, Bronny is arguably the least productive college prospect in NBA history. Here is a list of every player in the entire history of the NBA to be selected in the first 2 rounds of the draft that averaged less than 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists a game in college. And that's it. Just 3 players who were selected in the NBA draft with college numbers equal to or less than Bronny's college numbers. Pair that with the fact that these prospects had at least the benefit of having NBA frames and physical tools to be potentially built off of, and the case for Bronny warranting a pick in the NBA draft becomes more and more difficult to make. But to really demonstrate exactly where Bronny falls amongst other second-round picks, here is a chart of every college basketball player selected in the second round of the draft over the last 10 years, with box plus minus on the x-axis and minutes per game on the y-axis. 298 selections spanning 10 drafts. More than half of these players not even in the NBA today. Where's Bronny? He's right here. Most late draft picks, even the guys who go on to not even make a roster in the league, were first or maybe second options in their college program. Bronny, on the other hand, was an undersized rotational player on a sub-500 team.
Okay. I can't just let you keep on. You is making some good points, my boy. I'm not gonna lie. You making some fantastic points. But let's dig a little deeper. Number one, that boy coming off a heart murmur. You see what I'm saying? Them last two players, they probably played 4 years or however long they played, and them boys was healthy. Them boys was fresh off the iron press. You feel what I'm saying? No health complaints. So them boys might have just been ass. You feel what I'm saying? Don't try to pit Bronny in that same conversation with them. Yeah, they average the same, but over with. Okay. Number two, potential. You see what I'm saying? That boy got hella potential. The Lakers seen it. You see what I'm saying? You can say all this. Hey, you can say what you wanna, but you know one thing you can't say? That I'm not in the league, my boy. Ha! So who really getting the last laugh? You see what I'm saying? Like, all this is cool. It's all cool. But when Bronny out there hitting 4 threes in a game, what we doing? Because what I was seeing from the workout, that boy was hitting 12 threes in a row. You can't do that. Huh? Thanasis can't do that. Why don't you pick Thanasis up there? Where he come from? What college Thanasis played for? Stop knocking off, my boy. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not with it. I'm not rocking with it.
It doesn't take an NBA scout to know that Bronny James's collegiate career wasn't that of your typical second-round draft pick.
Facts.
But
is not,
how good is the typical second-round pick? With the rise of second-round sleepers in recent history, most notably players like Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson, Herb Jones, and Jordan Clarkson, the potential value of a second...
And this draft was ass, my boy. But proceed. I just had to get that off my chest.
Second-round pick in the NBA draft is about as high as it's ever been. With the help of advanced metrics, the curtain has been pulled back on the value even a solid role player can provide to a winning team. Prospect scouting has gotten more comprehensive than ever before, and these second-round picks have held considerable weight within recent trades around the NBA. But how valuable does that truly make them? Gathered from 10 years worth of draft classes from 2013 to 2022, data shows that, on average, out of the 30 players drafted in the second round, about 6 of them won't even suit up in the NBA. That's about 1 in every 5 players selected in the second round that will never see a minute of action in the league.
That's
Out
tough.
of the 24 players who do make a roster in their rookie season, about 17 of them end up playing a second season in the NBA. Of those 17 players that are good enough to stick around for more than a few seasons, only about 8 of them will go on to be a role player or rotational level player.
8 out of
one
30?
step further,
Tough.
and on average, only 4 of these second round picks will become a starting caliber player in their career. That's about 1 in every 8 players selected in the second round. And finally, of the 298 players selected in the second round of the draft, from 2013 to 2022, only 2 of them became all-stars: Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson. If you think about the last 10 years of second-round picks on a scale of box plus minus, with Nikola Jokic being on one end and the players who don't even make a roster on the other, then most players aren't in the middle. In fact, they're not even close. Most second-round picks fall way down here, somewhere in between what Basketball Reference would classify as an end-of-the-bench player and out of the league. When considering how to use a second-round pick, the idea of drafting a guy who ends up being a real contributing player, a starter, or even a future MVP, the perceived opportunity cost can tend to outweigh the actual value of the pick. Drafting a player of this caliber in the second round is like finding a diamond in the rough. But giving away a pick or a potential player that ends up being of this caliber would be a mistake that no front office wants to live with. But that doesn't change the fact that the vast majority of the time, these second round picks in the NBA draft go on to be these end-of-the-bench level players. Just out of curiosity, does anyone know who the last few 55th overall picks in the draft were and how their careers are turning out? Last year's 55th overall pick has played one game in the NBA. The one before that has played 23 games in 2 seasons. The 55th pick in 2021, Aaron Wiggins, is actually having himself a solid career so far. But the one before him is out of the league. The one before that one is also out of the league. he's also out of the league, out of the league, out of the league, was never in the league, out of the league, and out of the league. As a late second rounder, if Bronny can contribute on any level in the NBA, he has already exceeded his draft value. And that's really the proposition in all of this. It would be incredible if Bronny developed into a Davion Mitchell or Aaron Holiday caliber player. But the reality is if Bronny can provide any net positive value to his team, then selecting him in the draft will have been a great pick. There has never been a player projected to go this late in the draft with any expectations on what they should or will do in the league. These late draft picks have historically been reserved for players who might have been overlooked, players who maybe underperformed their potential at the collegiate level, players who organizations are willing to roll the dice on because there's virtually no opportunity cost associated with late second round picks.
And that's where Bronny fits in at. You see what I'm saying? He didn't really get all his potential out in college like that. Do I think he would be some all-star player in about like 6 years? No, I do not. But do I think that he'll be a good role player? Like you just said, Donovan Mitchell. You see what I'm saying? A 2 and a 3 and D player at the 1. Yes, I kind of do feel like he'll be able to do that. He has the passing ability. He has the IQ of a top basketball player. He can do it. He just got to put it together, my boy. Proceed, though.
It's all upside at this point in the draft. If they don't work out, well, that's typical. If they do work out, well, then they've beaten the odds. And the very large point being overlooked in all of this talk about potential and value to the team and X's and O's, LeBron James has the opportunity to play basketball with his kid in the NBA.
Facts.
Let's just and value to the team and X's and O's, LeBron James has the opportunity to play basketball with his kid in the NBA.
You can't beat that.
Let's just be honest. This is blatant nepotism. A classic case of it's who you know, not what you know.
What? I'm glad we're telling the future.
In the NBA for decades.
I just said
and no
that.
one cared. Countless players, coaches, executives, owners who got their shot with far less merit than Bronny has. But now here we are sitting around talking about the integrity of a man who's played 21 seasons in the league and his son because they made the most of an otherwise paltry 55th pick in the draft, and the nepotism leaned in their favor this time around. We can criticize this decision all we want, preach about how this move was a breach of ethics, a slap in the face of the game we love. But then we would all be hypocrites. Because there isn't a man on earth who would pass up on the chance to play in the NBA with his son.
Facts.
Even if it meant pulling a few strings to make it happen. As much as Bronny benefits from sharing the same last name as arguably the best basketball player of all time, that tag has also came with equal scrutiny. We have never seen...
I'm doing a video. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
happen. As much as Bronny benefits from sharing the same last name as arguably the best basketball player of all time, that tag has also came with equal scrutiny. We have never seen a late second round pick get discussed and limelighted like we've seen with Bronny. But we've also never seen a late second round flyer get completely dissected and criticized like this. LeBron and Bronny have a chance to do something that has never been done in the history of the NBA. And that is worth more than any late second round pick will ever be.
Hey, that was a banger, you feel what I'm saying? Y'all boys definitely go check out Jimmy Hot Roller, you see what I'm saying? But hey, bro, do I think Bronny is going to be some great all-star player that's going to take over the league in a few years? No, I do not. Do I think this was a good pickup by the Lakers? Of course. It adds on to LeBron's legacy. Nobody else could say they ever did it. He the GOAT, my boy. He's only making his argument even sweeter. You see what I'm saying? Jordan ain't do this. So hey, I think it was a good pickup. I think that boy gonna be in the G League. He gonna be a work-on player. But once he put it all together, that boy gonna be a dog. Watch what I tell you. You heard it here first. But with that being said, I'm out. Hey.